Playday number 3 continues at the Nations Cup. Sweden against Ukraine. Interesting match for Ukraine in particular. Well, for Sweden too, I suppose, but I think more so for the team in blue. So once again, we're at the third playday now of the Nations Cup. We are down to the last 8 teams in the European qualifier. We started with 16 with a big first group stage, and now we're down to 8 teams. We're playing a full round robin, so entire season, so to say. And currently, the situation is as follows. We have Sweden in second place. Sweden, Germany, and France, they are the 3 big favorites. And on playday number 2, we already had a big battle between 2 of the top 3. It was Sweden against France, and an absolute nail-biter. If you haven't seen that match yet, I mean, I'm going to spoil the result here, but make sure that you check that one out because it was absolutely glorious. Fantastic match between the 2 teams, and at the end, it was Sweden that was able to take the victory. It was insane. So Sweden takes down France, and now they're going up against Ukraine. They stumbled a little bit when they played against the Netherlands because they were taking one of the maps a bit too easy and then lost it. So that is one map that they gave up. That's very different from what we've seen from Germany, for example, who so far have won every single match they played without dropping even a single map. But then, to be fair, Germany also didn't go up against any of the top 3 teams just yet. For Ukraine, the situation is a little bit different. So on the first play, they went up against Germany and they lost that without taking a map. No shame there, but their struggle was more so on the second play day where they went up against Poland, a direct competitor to qualify for Berlin, and they lost that series even though it went down to the wire. All the teams are, of course, trying to qualify for the offline event for Berlin. At the 10th and the 11th of June, we're going to the Experian at the Alexanderplatz for the final 6 teams. We have 4 European teams, 1 North American team, and 1 team from Asia that will fight for glory and the prize money. It's going to be awesome. If you want to see some international heroes of the storm with players being on site, the casters as well, you want to just enjoy the event with a couple of fans, it's the perfect opportunity. The Experian is a fantastic venue in the middle of Berlin. If you are checking out the links in the description, you're going to see some pictures from the venue. You can see also some recordings of previous events they hosted in the past to get an idea of what the event and the venue is like. But suffice it to say that you can always stop by, go maybe for a city trip to Berlin, and then just simply come watch some heroes. Entrance is free, doesn't cost you anything. It's going to be awesome. Tons of people there. Tons of people have already said they're going to come. So it will be an amazing event. And who knows when we are going to get some international offline heroes of the storm in Europe again. So with that said, make sure that you check that one out. Links again are in the description. Yeah, and here we're heading now into Towers of Doom. For Sweden, they want to continue that trend of winning. Taking down France was huge for them, but they need to make sure that they're not stumbling against underdogs. And let's not mince words here. Ukraine definitely is coming in as the underdog into this series, but they need to also pick up a couple of map wins. If they now lose against Sweden without taking a single map, it's not the biggest problem, since again, Sweden is part of the big 3. But a map victory would mean a lot right now for Ukraine, just to get into a bit of a better position to maybe have a chance to, you know, push into those top 4 and then qualify for the offline event. Heroes can only be played once. You probably already know that if you watched any of the qualifier matches already. We got Blaze, we got Diablo, very heavy front line now for Lauber's team here in Towers of Doom, our first map. And interestingly enough, nobody has gone for the Haka. I'm honestly a little bit shocked by that, because normally when you're going to Towers of Doom, you would expect the Haka to be banned or picked. But here, none of that has happened. They went for Leo and Blaze instead, so no the Haka on Towers of Doom. Honestly, really surprised. Anduin gets taken with Genji picked on the other side. First of all, that already makes sense. In this case, probably not really the biggest problem because Rhaegar was already taken earlier, so you don't have an issue. But Anduin is now also removed from the pool. Double pick coming in for the Ukrainians as they now have to focus on a frontliner, Jojo. And we get Zagara. This is our second Zagara game on the third playday. Alright, Zagara in the house. She is going to be a bit on the squishy side though, so they have to be really careful on that. And I'm still a bit worried of what Gia could take. And well, he goes for Medivh. Well, good luck, Zagara. Leyline into Apocalypse is now becoming an option. We could see some serious shenanigans on their end. And they can also portal onto Zagara and other backliners. So, well, let's find out. Sweden Clearly the favorite in this best of 5 here on Playday number 3. Can they take the win, or is Ukraine going to cause an upset? Let's go. First game between Ukraine and Sweden. On the left in blue, the Ukrainian team with Lopaka on Genji, Arabano on Johanna. We got Areku on Leoric, Icegorb on Zagara, and Blu-ray is playing Regar. On the right side of the map, the Swedes with Svamgrota on Blaze, Skok on Hanzo, Laub on Diablo, Gia, he plays Medivh in game number 4 and is going to be a huge threat to the backliners with his portal plays. We have Anduin, last but not least, actually last and least, it's Anduin after all, is played by Henning. Alright. I think I have to at some point really address once again why I personally have a little bit... Been calling it! The portal plays, not against Zagara but against Rhaegar this time, but still first blood for Sweden right from the get-go. But yeah, so the one thing that I wanted to once again talk about a bit, because the topic keeps popping up, is like, Khaldor, why do you hate Anduin so much? Well, the reason is actually quite simple. So as a character, I don't have a problem with Anduin at all. I think he's insanely strong as a support, and especially that pull ability is obviously just bonkers. That is just an easy trade for him, and that they removed his past level 20 talent and moved it to level 16 for a double pull is just crazy. The issue is with the lore. So we had a tournament at some point in China where we were for 2 weeks in China casting pretty much every single day, and during that time they released one of the World of Warcraft expansion sets. I honestly can't remember which one. I don't play World of Warcraft and I don't care, but that was the one where Anduin was just like in this little battle with Sylvanas here in the trailer the entire time. And you have to understand that this trailer would play every single day whenever we were casting between every single match. It was insane. So we watched this trailer like 100 times at least. And I had to watch this little shit kid over here just crying into the camera day after day, "For the Alliance! I want my mommy!" And if you don't get traumatized by that crap, then you have just no, like, I don't know what to tell you. So yeah, I hate that shit kid. Screw Anduin. Screw that guy. I mean, ugh. I wanted to slap him around every day. I was just like, shut up, for the love of God. Just shut up, dude. So yeah, I hate the lore character. Everything else, totally fine. Strong support, a lot of good plays. But if I have to listen to like, "For the Alliance!" once more, then I'm just going to get a bucket and puke into it for like 3 days in a row. It's just like, ugh. Like, give me 5 minutes with Anduin in the dark room, honestly. It's just like, damn, son. Either way, first blood is in. We had apparently some technical difficulties here as well. Probably Anduin was crying so much that he made the keyboard wet of Henning and he had to dry it off. Could be one of those things. But, yeah. So, with that, we have apparently an attempt at an invade. Arabano. Uh-oh. Trouble's brewing, baby. Nice save from Manduin. Arabano down here. You're kidding me, right? Alright, first one is down. Rhaegar is dead. Hanzo is dead. Jojo tries to escape. And at the end of the day, she gets burned to a crisp too. They're still trying to make another move. And boy, was that good. Was it good for you too? I hope it was. Because that was a really solid engage from Diablo. Flip into Svamgrota's jet propulsion. And then they just take down Genji. 4 kills to 1 in total. And, well, it seems like they're also going to get the first belt. I mean, not converted yet, I guess, but they got close. Hello. So, here we are. From the top already. Jojo coming back in. And guess what? They got portals, and they're not afraid to use them. Alright. Up at the top, that's get Hanzoed, baby. Leoric gets Hanzoed by Skok, and now it's the triple altar phase. And apparently they're not really done with this yet. Genji, brother against brother. And, well, I got news for you. And Genji has been proven to be the weaker brother for sure. He thought he was smooth, you know? He thought he could just simply jump out. He's like, I got mobility, I got the Swift Strike. And then Medivh is there, portals, bitch! And that's the end of him. So, goodbye, my friend. And now, of course, with 6 kills to 1, they're closing in on level 7 talents as well. Ukraine, they are struggling as this starts. I gotta admit also that I don't think that Zagara is really having an impact on this game. I mean, things can change, but I would be shocked if this would continue where she plays a key role. She is gonna have trouble surviving. It's a 2 versus 1 trade in bell towers. Nothing out of the ordinary, the usual setup with 8 shots fired against the blue team. Zagara, of course, quite weak in the hit point department, so whenever these portals are popping out next to her, she needs to be super careful. And, well, here we go. That's pretty much what I was talking about. So they're going to try and get the kill. You can run, baby! You can't hide! And yeah, that's the end of her. So, down she goes, another wall's done. That choke point could be a problem, but you know what? It isn't, and good for Gia, because he was so close to dying. With 24 stacks to your name on the baseline, you don't want to go down as Medivh. Careful, Genji. Careful, my friend. You know what happened earlier when you tried to get away. Didn't work out too well. So, with 7 kills to 1 and more than a level lead, it's time for another camp to be stolen by the Swedes, and the meatballs are now moving in. And they are ruthless. So, first they brought the world IKEA, now they bring pain and death as they're going for 1 kill after another. Another quick hit. Bot lane, Leo's top side, but it seems like Sweden is just saying, if we get those pumpkins through, we have a solid chance of actually getting that bell tower, and you know what? They are not wrong. So this is going to be a first bell tower conversion. We're only 5 minutes into the game. So portals are already up. Left, right, right, left. A little bit of a game they're playing here, just so that they can buy some time for the bell tower to come through. And Zagara gets attacked, gets stunned, and gets killed. Easy peasy. Big target, no hit points. What more do you want as a damage dealer? Ah, Lauber, yeah, of course, sure. Just dive into the death zone, no problem, bro. Just dives in, YOLO! And nearly gets the kill for them. They have so much mobility now. It's not only the fact that they are coming through with portals, but then whenever the shit hits the fan, they're just using Anduin to pull the target back out. I can already tell you that eventually this is going to lead to Lauber just going for a massive Sudoku move, where he just goes wild, and where both Medivh and Anduin just look at him and they're like both, seriously, bro? Really? You thought we would save you from that? It's gonna happen, mark my words. It always does. Lauber is currently enjoying life. He's like, okay, no matter how hard I try to end, I have 2 people that will save the day for me. And they have done a great job so far to make exactly that happen. If Diablo is getting let off the leash, he can of course make big plays all day, every day. You need glasses, bro. I'm sorry. So Jojo still dies. I mean, it was a zoning meme strike. It was a zoning meme strike. He didn't miss it. He just didn't want her to go there. He wanted her to go down to the bottom. Lauber diving deep again. Gets saved. I mean, they're unleashing everything that they have. They have the early level 10. They're like, let's go. Coming through. And they're doing work. I mean, again, it's 22 points on the core against 36. They have a 5-3 bell tower situation going in favor of them. They got the last double. Now there's a single altar spawning at the bottom of the map. It's pretty much inaccessible to the Ukrainian players, so they should be able to grab this one. The attacks, they just keep coming. And there's the maw, but is there going to be a proper follow-up? And I would say Medivh gets the quest completed. But they kill Hanzo. So at least they got a kill. What else can they do now, though? Yeah, Leo's coming in. A man on a mission. Blaze is at the top. 5 versus 3 down here. They're on the run. Medivh, the Ancestral, and Genji is probably going to be the end of him. Chia is likely going to fall. Anduin is dead as well. And Blaze is just sitting topside and using his PhD in PvE to push the lanes out a little bit. There's no kill like overkill. And it might be inaccessible, but they still somehow were able to access it. So 3 shots fired. By the way, am I the only one that always thinks that it's a little bit sad when you see 3 of these skulls fly through the minimap? When it's like 3 or 2, it always feels sad. You always look at it and you're just like, oh. The same sentiment that I have when Genji dies. Like, oh, poor Genji. Do I care? No. Like, yeah, I'm really sorry for you. Then why are you smiling? Let me think about that. So the Ukrainian players, they actually bring this back a little bit. They get a kill, they get 2 kills, they're able to take one of the altars, they reclaim the bell tower. Could be worse. Could be worse. So the situation isn't as bad anymore. Experience lead for Sweden is still there, but it's not crazy. Lauber with a dive, Sodas from Grotta, both of them going deep for this. But a little bit unsuccessful now, and while it is currently a 5 versus 3, it's going to turn into an even-numbered fight in a moment, because both Jojo and Leo are now back to business. Stuns are coming, bunkers are out. There's the Maw, and, well, there's the wall stun, and the doggy gets kicked. I always knew that Hanzo was a cat person. I mean, why do I even say this? Look at Hanzo's portrait. If that soy boy likes dogs, then I'm Napoleon. Obviously, he's a cat person. He's the male equivalent of the crazy cat lady that has like 10 of them. Lauer gets drained. Okay, no more hope for him. It's a slaughter. This is a bloodbath down here. Zagara actually surviving is huge. So 13 kills, 2-7, and it is just a party. I mean, 40,000 damage for Genji, 40,000 for Hanzo. The brothers are doing their thing. And here we are. The 5-man's back on the map in a second. Endo and Genji were still waiting for them, but it's a single altar that they're fighting for. Time to party hard. Genji has died 4 times. Paid for that damage. And it's portal time. Where's Gia sitting at? It's 27,000 damage for Gia. And now they have another camp that they can take, which is exactly what they're doing. Genji got actually attacked up at the top. Dropped a bit low. Rega. The second the rest of the team appears on the red team, he's like, yeah, I'm out of here. I learned my lesson a little bit earlier. You don't like dogs. I get it. But yeah, not this time. Maw is out, blocking anything, but not much more than that. Okay, bunker to counter the Entomb. Genji! Alright, so he gets out, but there's the dog getting hit again. Poor Rega. I mean, seriously. What is this shit? He gets just kicked around. This is no way to treat a dog. Like, what are you doing here? This is just not cool. Dogs, by the way, just in case there was any confusion, they start at knee height. Everything that is smaller is not a real dog. That is like, if you're talking like pocket chihuahuas and crap like that, like rats in disguise, that's not a real dog. So when we're talking dogs, they start at knee height. Just to make this clear. Well, they got more shots fired, so now it's 17 points on the core to 33. And with level 16 in their pocket, we now have Anduin on crack pretty much. Yeah! Big dive! Is that the moment? Lauber? Nope. He gets the portal, he gets out. But he nearly killed Zagara. Good for him. So we have the Glyph of Faith now. And hello, sir. There's another hit. Another attack. And Genji survives. I was just about to say, maybe they can home in on him again and just crush him. Yep. Talking about Genji. He's trying to nibble on the edges a little bit. Beware the CC, my friend. Quick bunker. Yeah, and Rega. Could you stop killing him? I mean, seriously, Blaze goes down, so we get a counter kill, but the focus on Rega is really unhealthy. I don't like that. I really don't like that. I feel sorry for him. I don't feel sorry for Zagara. I don't even know why. I'm a Zerg player myself, but Zagara, for some reason, she can die. I don't care. Was Kerrigan is a different story. So, yeah. Generally speaking, Zerg lives matter. Zagara's doesn't. I can't even explain it to you. But when I see a Zagara, I see a target. So, well, 8 kills to 17. And now they're trying to go for Jojo. This is a big moment, honestly, for Sweden, because now they have superior numbers on the map, and this should at least be 2 of the altars to their favor, which means 10 points removed. So that would be big. 54,000 damage for Genji! And Hanzo, he's at 56. It's a brotherly duel that they have now. We already have at the top left now the channel happening from Areku, but as predicted, rest of the team is channeling, and that is BAM! Big hit right there. So, not too far behind experience, the Ukrainian team, by the way. Genji and Rega both died 5 times. Apocalypse, the Entomb, catching the portal and literally all of them, but there's the ley line. Meme strike, baby. Not a lot of damage, but enough to take Leoric down with the rest of the team. The Maw is out. It's still a 5 versus 4, so you gotta be careful here, even with Genji trying to make a play. But he gets very quickly caught, stunned into the wall, and if that doesn't remind you of the D.Va trailer, then I don't know what does. By the way, what kind of trailer was that? First of all, you have this epic battle between Diablo and Genji, and it's a really awesome trailer, and then fucking D.Va flies around the corner. I mean, are you kidding me? Like, boy, oh boy. I loved and hated that trailer at the same time so much, I can't even explain this to you. So, kill after kill, 1 point on the core, massive moves made by Sweden here. They get the altars, they got pumpkins everywhere, now they get another camp. They want to go for victory here. And the favorite in this series is obviously unleashing a world on pain on their opponents. They go for the double attack, they go for the boss, they go for the pumpkins at the bottom of the map, escorted through by our boy Blaze, and that means it is lights out for Ukraine in game number 1. Even the ley line being used here. So, yeah, they go for the dog again. 6 deaths on Genji and on Rega. And that, my friends, is the lead for Sweden in this best of 5 series here at the 3rd playday of the Nations Cup. GG. Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet, so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV. Game number 2, Sweden has taken the lead against Ukraine, and we are on Brexis. This is the first time in the top 8 that we have Brexis as a map. Most of the time it's honestly banned, but now Sweden has gone for it, so Sweden had map choice, and they were like, you know what? We're gonna go for Brexis holdout. This could be interesting. Generally speaking, rule of thumb, what kind of heroes do you want to play here? Heroes that have mobility and can traverse terrain. Anuburak, Genji, Muradin, Medivh, just a couple examples. Junkrat is also strong here. Sometimes we're even getting Karazim because he can, when he has a dash target, jump over. Now, some of them have, of course, already been played, so they cannot be played again in this series. But just generally speaking, those are heroes that you oftentimes see. The rule of thumb is that you have on this 2-lane map another 1-4 split setup, similar to what we normally have on Battlefield of Eternity. But this is definitely now some of the patterns, or one of the patterns that we could see here. So, we'll have to check it out. Have to have a look to see what they're going to do, and especially which kind of solo laners are going to be played. But if you have that mobility, then you can easily traverse from one lane to another and can try and put your stamp on things. So, yeah. But with that, we now have our first pick, and the Ukrainians, they kind of need to step it up a little bit. Now, again, for them, obviously, they are the underdog. It's just what it is. We have 3 top teams in Europe right now, or 3 top nations. I guess technically we have 4, but the Russians that won their own group, they had to withdraw from the competition because some of their players weren't able to get a visa. It was actually kind of interesting because, so Russia withdrew because some of their players couldn't get a visa. Then the team that moved in for them was Denmark, because Denmark was able to win the last chance qualifier, where all of the 3rd places in the first group stage went up against each other to determine the strongest one. And then just before the top 8 matches started, Denmark withdrew from the competition because they realized that they cannot make the schedule happen with their players. They don't have enough players for nearly half of the days to properly play them out. So now Finland moved in for it. So yeah, a couple of problems. I mean, it always happens, honestly. Every single tournament that I've ever had where you have a very strict and tight schedule, where you also have an offline event, there's always something that happens. Somebody doesn't get a visa, somebody misses their flight. It's always happening. But yeah, so interesting development there. But Russia definitely one of those top 4 teams that we have in Europe at this point. But only 3 of them currently in the tournament here, with Germany, with France, and of course with Sweden. So we have Sylvanas, Rexa for the top lane, and the Garrosh Zarya starting point for Sweden. They have played this particular comp in, I believe, every single match they played so far, at least once. And it's a very powerful one. If you need a strong 4-man, that's where it starts. They played it on Battlefield, they played it on, well, now on Braxis, and I believe it was Garden of Terror, where they played it on in game number 2. But yeah, so they got Sukov together with it, and it's Panda time up at the top. Alright. So, Garrosh, Chen, and Zarya at the front. Vala gets banned. Totally understand this, honestly. She's a very, very good hero with that combination, so banning her out makes a whole lot of sense. Question still remains, what exactly is Sweden going to add on the damage side for Gia? Always assuming they're not swapping here, but yeah, for him to just burst through that bot lane in particular. Could be a mage also for AoE. We've seen it with Gul'dan even in the past. And we get Morales! Morales and Muradin. Okay. So, Mokus for Morales. Special tactics. Final pick. Game number 2. Sweden is already in the lead. Of course, their goal would be to win the series without dropping a map, making sure that they're improving their map score a bit, while maintaining that perfect clean record on the match score. And it's Greymane. Slipped my mind. Yeah, he of course is still in the pool too. So with that, we're set to go. Game number 2, Braxis holdout, Sweden against Ukraine. Second game in the best of 5, Ukraine on the left in blue, Icecorp on Sylvanas, we got Areku on Rexa, Lopaka with Junkrat, Blu-ray on Morales, and Arabano playing Muradin in the second game of the best of 5. The favorites though, starting on the right, Sweden in red with Svamgrota on Chen. We have Lauba on Garrosh, Gia on Greymane, Henning on Stukov, and Skok is playing Zarya. So it's party time. Down to the bottom of the map, 4-man is already starting up. We have, in this case, Zarya starting things off with Feel the Heat. This is where you would expect the 4-man to make their move. And up at the top, Lopaka with Junkrat, interestingly enough. So as a solo laner, you would expect Rexa to be there. So the lineup is currently a little bit odd. They're trying to maybe get a kill here with the help of Misha and a quick stun, turning this into, oh no, yeah, into a bit of an attack here. We got a quick kill on Morales. Good old focus Morales strategy is still going strong, and that is, yeah, pretty devastating for the blue team. Or at least their aspirations here in game number 2, because not only does that lead to them losing control over the bot lane, but you can already see that with Zarya up at the front and Greymane just ripping structures apart, we have the entire wall more or less defeated. 2 towers are down. Yeah, they boost Henning over, but they're already breaking through this without any problems whatsoever. Top side, it's a 3-man against Chen, but Svamgrota, he doesn't really care. He's just jumping in a little bit more and is annoying the hell out of them. With Sylvanas, there's of course a chance to break through the wall here too, but I can already promise you that when it comes to a race, there's a very good chance that the 4-man with Zarya is just doing their thing. And it's looking great. So, yeah, off we go. We got a bit of a leading experience for them already, just as it starts up. Then at the same time, we already have at the top another attack coming. We have down here a fort that is getting destroyed. We have shields coming through. It's just an absolute speed rush. So fort is down. Top side, they're trying to repay them in kind, but the rotation is now underway. And I can already guarantee you that this is not going to end up with an even trade, because Ukrainian players, they just don't have the same push power at this point in time. So yeah, there it is. Either way, with all of that said and done, we now have the level 4 talents kicking in. And that of course means that with the objective being up, there's a distinct advantage for Sweden as they are now trying to ensure the first objective. Bot side has been taken though by the blue team, whereas up at the top the control has already been claimed. We have now level 4 on the board, and that gives us also the speed barriers. The full synergy with Garrosh is already coming up. But okay. With now that, we have down to the bottom of the map, we have Chen taking over. They're going to pressure that wall a little bit further. In the middle of the map, there's another quick move made for maybe even a kill, but Garrosh denies it as Dukov was the target that Ukraine was aiming for. Couldn't quite make that work. And in the meantime, we got the cellular reactor, we got the reverberation here too. And down to the bottom of the map, it's camp after camp that gets claimed. So, again, things have slowed down a little bit. Initially, it was an attempt at trading forts, which kind of backfired for Ukraine because while they lost theirs, they couldn't destroy the top right. They always try to make another move, and in this case, it might cost Lauber his life, and indeed does. He's the first one to fall on the Swedish side. But the rotation is now trying to get at least a counter kill going for the red team, and I guess this is gonna happen. They're starting to move in, starting to take this one down. And that is, of course, not only one kill, but also a double, since Morales is also getting destroyed. Chen with an easy double kill, 3 kills to 1, down to the bottom of the map. Areku, as a solo laner, is still trying to maintain control, but with Garrosh coming back after dying topside, he's taking the full... Actually, it's actually interesting because they had 24% over here. I kind of missed that one. So yeah, they are taking full control now over the beacons, but 24% on the other side here pretty quickly. Same time now, another move towards the top right fort. No matter how many times they're going to try this, they're only going to run into trouble. Whenever they're pushing in for it, the rotation will happen. They're going to flank in the same way we're seeing now from Sweden. And with that quick flip forward and the speed bubble for Garrosh, they're getting the kills there. This is the whole beauty of playing Garrosh Zarya, that you have the speed bubble, and then you can see Garrosh just rushing away into the midst of the opponent's team, picking a target, flipping it into the damage dealers, and that's then very quickly the end right there. So, level 7 is on the board. We have the extra talent in that gives us the pinpoint accuracy. And after destroying the bottom fort, has worked out quite well for them earlier. Sweden has apparently acquired a taste for it and is now attempting to drop the one at the top too. That doesn't even account for the objective yet. 5 minutes in, we haven't seen a single Zerg wave yet, but they're doing work. They're absolutely doing work here, and might very well end with another fort getting destroyed early. If not, it's already so low that it will definitely fall to a Zerg wave if that ever travels topside. But at least they're getting some kills. So the Ukrainians, they're fighting back. They're trying... Oh, nice slow. Very nice slow. Perfect setup for Junkrat to try and go for displays. Henning goes down too. Nicely done. Blue team finally showing some plays here. I like it. They're gonna get even more kills. They're gonna get all of them. That's 4 kills in that encounter. Good stuff. Very well done. 40% to 10, but bot side gets claimed. So after initially getting absolutely murdered, the Ukrainian team has now started to go on the counterattack. They've taken 4 heroes down, they dropped the fort at the top, and they opened the game up. I like it a lot. I honestly did not think it would happen after they struggled initially so much against Sweden here in Braxis, but this is looking a bit better for them. 52% to 10 on the minion wave, on the Zerg wave, so nice percentage already. Worst case scenario, still fairly acceptable. They even have a leading experience, which is of course amazing for them, but this could open things up a bit for this game. Well done, well done. It really seemed like it would be an absolute snowball. It looked like a snowball turning into an avalanche, but yes. Ukraine is coming back. So Ukraine is starting to do their thing. We have a level 10 coming through, and the heroic ability is here for Sweden. They could just give them the window that they need to either get the objective, maybe make a play for the top fort, go for the boss. It is a half-level lead, so it's a fairly alright window. It's something that you can definitely play with. And they are using it to go for the fort. They're attacking it early, even before level 10 hits. We now get the chance for top cake plays from Chen, and they are rotating back down towards the boss. Yes! trying to get a little bit more with their heroic abilities. Seems like Arabano is going to sniff this one out. Doesn't even make a move for it. It's already too late anyways. Chen could always just keck it up, even if Muradin makes a move for it, but he's too late one way or another. Gets flipped over, taunted, and gets killed. Quick kill. Muradin down, and obviously not really great timing. First of all, we have double beacon control now for Sweden. They have a boss at the top, and they can do even more damage, so yeah. Topside pressure alone is already a problem, and then at the bottom of the map we're going to see the Zerg wave travel through. It's 100% against 52. So, well, actually it might not be, because while Junkrat falls, Rexa retakes top with 98%. Oh boy. I mean, a last second effort here by him. I'm just not sure how valuable that is, because they are taking damage down here no matter what. But yes, the Zerg wave is going to be delayed for at least a little bit. It seems like Sylvanas makes it out thanks to Morales just healing her up. Always nice to have a pocket healer here. Misha is dead too. A bit of a slap by Stukov as they're still looking for additional kills. There's no talent advantage anymore for Sweden, but they definitely have the lineup. They're trying to go straight in on Sylvanas, and she is alive, dead. Yep, okay. For a second, she was a little bit like Schrödinger's hero. You could think of her as dead or alive at the same time. Turns out she was dead all along. So the counter kill at least happened, and Zarya is gone, but Muradin gets ripped to shreds by Greymane. And yeah, there's the cake play for Rexa, and bye-bye, my friend. This is just not happening. You're dead. You don't know it yet, but you're not going to make it. So yeah, they can chase him down. He can waste their time a little bit, but he is not going to survive this one. So there it is, the big slap. Chen, no cake for him. Wanted to go to the top to get them the Zerg wave. That didn't happen. But yeah, level 13 talents are now ready for them. And let's see if they can do a bit more here. 30,000 damage is already in for Greymane. We got 38,000 for Junkrat. Now, at the same time, of course, with that talent advantage, they can also focus on camps a bit, try and steal those away, and eventually, this was inevitable. Lauber, somebody else, is walking over and takes the Zerg wave for the team. Junkrat is too late. It's a big one through the bot lane, and if they siege up now with the rest of the lineup, they are going to get that keep. By the way, talking about keeps and damage, the top keep has taken damage because of the boss that was traveling through it earlier, but has not been destroyed. So just a little bit of a damage report over there. This is still 50% gone, but the bigger one is really now Lauber moving in, going for the taunt on Muradin, another stun on him, gets the avatar out, but of course Greymane is coming through. Riptire is delaying him at least a little bit. Morales is doing what she can to heal everybody up, but it is just a full-on effort. Now there's the push happening. The bottom keep is gonna fall, and we might even see Sweden go all the way and try to take the core down. Garrosh is dead though, so there's only 4 heroes that they have here, but the entire Zerg wave is pretty much still intact, and with Chen in particular, they can still zone them out, which is exactly what they do. So this isn't really looking good for Ukraine in game number 2. Braxis might just be where they fall farther and farther behind, and that is indeed the case. The core is not going to make it. A very solid and coordinated effort by Sweden. 11 kills, 2-7, and 11 minutes into the game as they take a 2-0 lead over Ukraine in this best of 5. Sky Temple! Yeah, here we are. Map number 3. So, Ukraine, they have another chance to bring this back. Can they pull it off? Yes or no? Sweden, again, they're strong. They're doing exactly what they're supposed to do here. They need to try and make sure that they're maintaining a solid map score, not only winning their matches. Their victory against France was big. It was really important for them, and it was huge. That series, still amazing. If you haven't watched it yet, check it out on YouTube. It was a great, great series. We had some insane games. It's honestly always a little bit of a shame because people are... I mean, in this case, obviously, it fulfills all of the criteria, but there's a lot of stuff where in the past, people, when it's like a 2-0 score, they're completely neglecting to watch any of the matches, and some of them are just absolutely insane. So, yeah, either way. As we're heading into the third map, we have Maiev banned out. Sky Temple, I believe we haven't seen Dehaka yet, right? So on the first map, Dehaka wasn't picked. That was a bit of a surprise because we had, if I remember correctly, Blaze going up against Leoric, which means there's Dehaka. Dehaka instantly picked. The birdie, though, should still be up, so you could go for Falset as a counter. And then, if you really want to, you can also go down the path of what Germany chooses to do lately and just go for a full cancer comp with Samuro and Abathur. And just try to like reach the raid game and be a nuisance there. That has been played multiple times right now, and it's always just like, ugh, kill me now. So, what are they gonna do? Falset and Uberak. So we get the birdie. Counteracting Dehaka's global a little bit. And for the Ukrainians, I mean, there's a couple of aspects when it comes to this. First of all, you want to have global mobility if you can get it, or if you can get it cheap, just simply because there is a good chance that you are then outplaying your opponent on the macro side. Could be a Samuro, could be Falstad, Dehaka. You can play with Brightwing. There's a couple of options. ETC Stage Dive comes to mind. Then there's also the variation where you're just simply focusing on point control, like with Sanctification Tyrael, because you believe that this game is going to be decided on the boss fights. And there you can play with Falstad and use the Mighty Gust, try and zone control that way. And Nuburak with Cocoon is of course another one. Tyrael, as I mentioned, Sanctification is big. But there's multiple things that it could do. What kind of surprised me a little bit is that Henning is the one that chose Nuburak. Now they can always swap heroes around in the swap phase, but is there a chance that they are going for something completely different with Lauba here? Now, I mentioned the ETC stage dive variation in the past a lot, especially since during the HGC days, ETC could be played as a main tank or a side laner, depending on what you needed from him on level 10. And then you would either go stage dive, or you would go mosh pit, you would put him in a side laner position or not. So, there's a chance that they're still playing around with this a bit, or, of course, that they're going for a bit of a role swap, or all of this is just wrong, and Lauba just wasn't there when he was supposed to pick, somebody else picked for him, and it is of no consequence. But we have seen teams that with a 2-0 advantage have started to roll swap. French players in particular. And it sometimes backfires. And when it does, then you are losing maps that you should win. Alarak! Okay. Karazim, Alarak and Tychus. Which leaves us on the final pick with Swamgrotta. So yeah, potential isolation plays also with Cocoon plus Gust. Tracer, of course, can go deep here. There's no way Lauba is going to stay in support. It's just not happening. They're going to swap Nuburak over to him. Lauba support? I mean, that would be a disaster. Illidan, yes! Swamgrotta, my hero. Game number 3, match point number 1, Sweden against Ukraine. We headed to Sky Temple. The last chance for Ukraine to put a point on the board against Sweden. We are on Sky Temple, and on the left in blue, the Ukrainian team with Tychus, played by Scorp. We got Blu-ray on Karazim, Reku on Dehaka, we got Lopaka on Alarak, and Arabano on Tyrael. Can they pull it off? They have one damage dealer from afar, and then a lot of stuff happening at that front line, whereas Sweden went for Illidan, the man with the blindfold, played by Swamgrotta. Gia on Falstad, Lauba thankfully swapped over to Nuburak, Skok on Tracer, and Henning is playing Malfurion. On level 1, we get the overwhelming power, and they're going to lead a lot of overwhelming power if they want to have a chance here. Illidan is immediately getting targeted a bit. There is not that much that can really threaten Illidan. What do you honestly have there? There's essentially two things. You have, on the one hand, Alarak with a combo, and you have Dehaka with either his ult or the tongue. Those are your two options. Everything else is just damage. There's no CC, there's no control, unless we are gonna see Tyrael move into Judgment, which I honestly don't see. Not on this map, not with the boss playing such a pivotal role, and you want to play around Sanctification on that. So there are limited options for them to deal with Stormcrawler. In the early game, this is not going to play that much of a role, but in the late game, this could make a huge difference. And Alarak is already being taken down here. So Alarak quickly killed off. First blood in the game. Illidan now making his way all the way up towards the top and down to the bottom part of the map. They go for the Siege Giant camp. Seems like they are trying to fight for this one. I'm not quite sure if that's a great idea. So first of all, they're losing the camp. Now Dehaka is gone. And that is a bit unfortunate for Ukraine because they didn't really get anything there. Neither did they get a kill, nor did they get the camp itself. And it just allowed Illidan to control the top lane a bit more. So, yeah. Tricky. Very, very tricky here. Structural damage done, and as we always talk about on Sky Temple in particular, since the objective on the map attacks structures directly, any kind of structural damage that you can do without using the objective is a win. Applies obviously to Ukraine too, who was using that at the bottom of the map. But yeah, good start there. Now, with Illidan, we got the Hunter's Onslaught again. We have a Bed of Barbs, Better Assault is in, level 4 talents now also give us the Pulse Generator. And with level 4, oh, nice stun. Brutal stun. Root follow-up. Yeah, Malfurion with a big root follow-up. And hello, sir. What do we have here? In the rhythm. I mean, first of all, Sweden is really in the rhythm because they are now locking in 3 kills. The second one against Alarak. So, yeah, they're definitely flowing here. But we have stacks for our boy Tychus. Tychus is trying to stack it up. Sweden is pushing through the top lane. Big damage. Able to take a tower down. Illidan still taking topside camps. And yeah, they're taking the gate down too. So this is starting to become incredibly difficult for Ukraine because they're losing way too many structures this early on. They're losing Tyrael too. That's 4 kills already. 4 heroes that have been destroyed. And that doesn't even account for the fact that Illidan is pushing the top lane out like he owns the place. Now, he's gonna go for the shots fired. The camp is pushing the structures down. Team? Ukraine is getting absolutely demolished here. I mean, if that is not hitting the surrender button, then I don't know what is. They are in real danger of getting snowballed. Kill number 5, 3 minutes and 30 seconds in. Nobody's defending the top. Lauber, nice. Dies again first, the same like he did on, I think, towers. But yeah, big damage output. And structures are gonna fall here. Easily, by the way. I mean, no chance for the fort at the top. So, heavy lead for Sweden. Illidan with a few more shots now fired into the mid lane. Even is not able to take the tower down completely, but of course now they can make another move for the remaining shots in the mid lane. The blue team is not going to be able to maintain control for the entire duration, especially of course since they don't have level 7. 52 stacks, by the way, for Falstad. 4 minutes in. 4 minutes in, and we have 52 stacks. Yeah, that's nasty. Now they get the Malfurion kill, but the shots are still fired, and that removes also a few hit points from the fort itself. So down to the bottom of the map, Falstad still taking control. A couple of stacks coming together for Tychus, but with 14, it's obviously not really a whole lot for him. Illidan just controlling the game topside, and they could also go 400 with him. So yeah, that's another one. Down to the bottom of the map, we're having 5 kills to 2. Another drag is happening. Lauber goes down. Tychus is eliminated. They trade kills here. 1 level lead still remaining for Sweden. And Illidan, no fucks given. He's just stealing the opponent's camp away. This is a hugely risky play that he makes. But since they have full vision over the entire blue team, they know that at least for now, he is still totally safe there. So the Siege Giants get claimed. And up at the top, is he gonna grab it? Tychus could now make his way over here. And if he does, but he doesn't, then he might have been able to interrupt this. So yeah, Svamgrota with a big risky play. Works out for them though. They got level 10. Illidan goes for the hunt. Immediately starts attacking the Haka. And this is of course a nightmare. Look at Anubarak, by the way. Not even going for Cocoon. Instead Locust Swarm for Lauber. They are about to steal the red team's siege camp away now. and could just go for the bot lane, honestly, if they really wanted to. But why go for the bot lane? If you have a boss that you can claim, take the boss while your opponent doesn't even have heroic abilities, remove it as an option, and if the blue team is really suicidal enough to make a play and try and attack, then you can always go for the fight. Illidan, hit by the combo. But Falstad's Gust saves the day for him. Boss is taken. Illidan is chasing. And they should be able to get a kill at least against Tychus. And yes! Tychus is dead. Illidan! The hunt! Hunts down Alarak. Arabano dead too. Everybody dead or dying. The Haka, the only survivor for now, and he is surrounded by opponents. Sweden going through Ukraine like hot butter through cheese as they take the fort in the middle, and the boss is claiming the outer structure at the bot lane. Finally, heroic abilities for the blue team, but boy, oh boy, are they in trouble. Structures are falling all over the place, and of course the principle that I talked about earlier in this game still applies. If you lose this many structures without even utilizing the objective, then you know you are in danger of having a very, very rough game. Now, the good news is that with the kill on Tracer, maybe there's a chance for Ukraine to get the shots of the bottom temple. So that's one. But if we're now going to see Sweden also claiming the bottom temple, then keeps are in danger. Gust is being used, time is bought, Tracer is about to be back. And Falstad is also able to get out. And nobody has made any moves for that bottom temple yet. And of course, as you can tell, there's not only a fountain at the bot lane remaining for Sweden, where they can simply top their hit point and mana pull off, but they also have, for now, I was just about to say, a nice position because of level 13 talent advantage, and Lauba decided to go for the big int. But the palm! Yeah. Palm on Karazim. Talk about things that I didn't see coming. So, yeah, he goes for Palm. Illidan, Sanctification is in, and that is the end of Illidan. They are getting a bit too aggressive here now. Obviously, they're still threatening the lives of every single hero on the blue team side, but generally speaking, Sweden is starting to have some fun here. They're starting to enjoy this maybe a little bit too much, and we'll see how deep they can go with this. Yeah, another move for the Haka. Not quite working out. Combo this time missing. And the temple is still untouched. Temple still untouched. And Falstad with 35,000 damage, not only top damage in the game, but he's at 100 stacks pretty much. And Alarak is getting palmed. That always sounds dirty. Like, I don't know why, but it sounds very, very dirty. It was a really nice timing though. If Karazim messed this one up, then we would see a dead Alarak, but instead he survived this time. 22,000 damage for him. Up at the top though, Illidan is starting to go for camps again, and I think at some point Sweden is just going to say, you know what guys, yes, there might still be a couple of camps available on the map, but how about we're going for the objective just for once and try to win the game. At the top, Falstad side laning and pushing for the keep again, especially with Illidan now taking the camp. They can of course push this lane out very easily. Down at the bottom of the map, it's again the siege. These two are just walking around and trying to steal each other's siege giant camps. This has been happening from start to finish now. Who's going to defend the top side though? Right now it seems like nobody will. Illidan is there and so is Falstad. You can't leave these two at the top. They are the two globals, so they can easily rotate back down. But the Haka is the only defender, and the camp isn't even here yet. So with the shots fired from the bottom temple, at least this fort is gonna fall. But they're trading a fort for a keep. What? They're gonna lose the keep here. They have no chance of saving this one. The bird with a spray game on point. I'm gonna give this a 9 out of 10 at least. And Illidan is on the core. Svamgrota is like, alright, screw it. Let's go. They go for the core here, and somebody has to fall back. And if you leave Illidan on structures, I've been talking about this over and over again, he's going to eventually destroy you. So the more time Svamgrota has, the more damage he's going to do. They're denying the opponent the hearth. The Haka is the only defender. He's still playing with Falstad. The core is falling. Guys, he is soloing the core right now. I'm not even kidding you. He's actually going for the core. The core is at 80%. Svamgrota gets more and more. Gia's coming in too. Hearths are continuously interrupted. Blu-ray finally makes it back. But the core is at 50%. Svamgrota, he has a hot Tinder date. He's done with this shit. He's like, boys, I got no time. I have no time for this crap. Let's go, let's go. Dehaka is dead, killed by Falstad. Svamgrota still hard at work, 20%. And, well, that's game. 3-0 victory. Illidan for the win. Ukraine loses to Sweden as Sky Temple turns out to be the final map of the best of 3. Thank you everybody for watching the video today. I hope that you enjoyed the show and the commentary. And keep in mind that the spoiler protection that is going to run for the rest of the video is made possible by all the support on patreon.com. So guys, if you want to support my work, if you want to help me start new projects and keep the spoiler protection in place, please consider heading over to patreon.com/Khaldor. There's also a link in the YouTube description and check that out. Thanks in advance, and see you guys next time with more esports coverage here on Khaldor TV. Have a great day.